Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Nasir Qureshi, Realtor Daddy, and I'm a Texas licensed real estate agent, practice residential and commercial real estate, and author and a certified solo advisor. And we do this show every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to give value to realtors and other people who are interested. And we bring on an expert from an industry that touches the real estate industry, housing industry, and we learn from that expert. So today we have honor to have with us Mr. Amar, great individual. He's giving a lot of great value and services in the Houston surrounding areas and more in the Texas. Welcome, Mr. Amar. How are you?
Thank you, thank you. I'm doing very well, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. Been so busy lately for the last few days, man. I feel like I've been very slow on replies with you. I apologize, but as the industry is growing and we're getting calls and stuff like that, and we're trying to help everybody out. It's been a very busy time for us. Thankfully, we're very thankful for that as well. So, but yeah, we're just been really, really busy lately.
Good. That's good to hear. That's good, busy, always good. So where Amar is from? Tells the audience who is Amar, where is he from?
So originally, I was born in Bosnia. My parents are from Bosnia. That's for those of you that don't know, that's actually in Eastern Europe. It's near to Italy and Croatia and Serbia. We're in the Balkan region. I was 8 years old when I came here in 2001 with my family, with my parents and my sister. I only have one sibling, which is my younger sister. Um, and I pretty much grew up here in Houston. Majority of my life, I lived in Cypress, Texas, actually, which is right outside of Houston. This is kind of like where I grew up, and now currently I reside here in New Caney. And as far as my business goes, we service the entire greater Houston area, as well as like Woodlands and Cypress, Katy, etc. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So what do you do and how did you get involved in or thought of doing what you do?
Sure, sure. So back in 2017, well, first of all, back up a little bit. I worked in different areas, man. I used to be a lot. I used to be involved in sales a lot. So I used to be a salesman. I used to sell, resell cars and stuff like that. My buddy, he used to buy cars, and I used to help him sell cars and stuff like that. I worked at a long time ago. I used to work as a tech as well. I was selling computers and stuff like that. So I've kind of been in sales most of my life, really, to be honest with you. I'm always find myself selling something. But
Mhm.
17, I wanted to do something different. And I found myself looking for an opportunity, just like some people, when they're kind of like in a place in life where they're trying to find something new to do, something that's lucrative, something that they'll, will probably motivate them. And one of the things that I came across was pressure washing. The thing is, when I first started out in 2017, the demand was really, really, really high at that point in time. We didn't have as much competition, of course, as we do now, but at that point, it was very high demand. And I knew that right away. As a matter of fact, I helped one of my neighbors pressure wash their driveway because they received a letter from the homeowners association, basically telling them either they get a pressure wash or they get a fine for it. So I helped them out. We did that, and then I decided to take some pictures, and I just, for the heck of it, I decided to go ahead and post it online. And I shared it in my neighborhood group. And the next thing you know, I had like 6 or 7 people reach out to me. And then that kind of opened up my eyes. I was like, wait a minute, people really pay for this stuff? This is really a so next thing you know, man, I'm pressure washing all my neighbors' driveways and helping them, and then I got involved into, doing the house washing. And the thing about it is that in a very short period of time, I was able to, come to a realization that this is a big, big industry. And it's actually a multi-billion-dollar industry. At that point in time, I would have never even guessed it. But it opened up my eyes to a lot of things, and I decided to further my education and then learn a lot more about, the industry, and how to become one of the try to become one of the leaders in the industry. So one thing led to another, man, and fast forwards, 7 years, here we are now. And We're doing all sorts of stuff. I mean, we work with a lot of realtors, we work with a lot of builders, we work with a lot of contractors and stuff like that. And although I started out in the residential field, I still do service very many residential homes and stuff like that. But we also are very heavily involved into the commercial side of things as well. So we do a lot of parking lot pressure washing. We wash buildings, multi-story buildings. We clean windows. We clean parking garages. And one of the things that we recently added to our list of services is striping. So not only do we pressure wash, but now we also stripe parking lots as well.
Okay. And so what is your name? What is your company called?
Yeah, so my company is A&M Pressure Washing. Originally, it started out with me and a friend of mine's whose his name was Michael. My name is Amar, so that's where the A&M came from. Unfortunately, we're no longer in a partnership, but I carry the name as in the beginning when we first started out, I was I mean, I've gotten a lot of people to notice us and stuff like that, and for the sake of that, I decided to keep with the same company name. But yeah, that's where A&M Pressure Washing comes from.
I like the name, just like university, right? I like
And to be honest with you, I get a lot of calls from people that say the first thing they ask me is, "Are you an Aggie? Are you an Aggie?"
it.
That's funny you asked me that because it's my sister. I never went to A&M University. My sister actually graduated from A&M University. She went and got her doctorate. And the crazy thing is that my partner, his mother and his sister both graduated there. Me and him have nothing to do with it. It just happened to be that my name and his name kind of made that A&M. So
Okay.
yeah.
I like the name. So tell us, what is pressure washing?
So pressure washing, basically, we use high pressure system. It's a water system that uses water to basically clean with. So everything that we clean is with high pressure water, and also obviously we use detergents and stuff like that as well. So in my industry, we have something called pressure washing, where where everything that we utilize is used with high pressure. Then we have something called soft washing as well, is where we don't use very high pressure when we clean certain things. We use low pressure with certain detergents and biodegradable chemicals that we clean with. So pressure washing is a term, it's been around for a very long time. Um, it's just basically using water under very high pressure, like 4 to 5,000 psi, and we basically are blasting water at certain concrete in certain areas and stuff like that in order to get all the debris and all the mildew and the mold off of certain material. Now, in pressure washing and soft washing are same but different. They both have to do with cleaning, but pressure washing just uses high pressure and soft washing uses detergents. So, for example, if I was to go and wash somebody's house, for example, if somebody called me and hired me and they say, "Hey, Amar, we got a letter or a notice from the HOA, and we have mildew or we have algae growing on the side of our house." Well, I wouldn't, for example, go out there and pressure wash your house. Matter of fact, even to this day, we have people that get on ladders and they power wash, use this high pressure. And what that does is really it can damage the siding, it can damage even the brick, the mortar on the brick using very high pressure. It's an outdated system that's been used for a very long time, but I mean, it makes sense in certain areas of the cleaning industry, but not so much when cleaning a house, for example. So what we have with the soft washing, we use environmental friendly chemicals, biodegradable chemicals, which is like an algicide that we use in an application that we apply onto the building that gets rid of all the algae, mildew, mold, and any kind of debris. And similarly, we use the same type of application when we do roof washing. So a lot of times people get real confused when I tell them that I have a service roof washing because the first thing they put there's power washing and then their roof, and they're like, "Dude, so you're gonna go up there, you're gonna blast my roof, you're gonna blast my shingles." And I'm like, "No, no, no." So that's not how it works. We actually use a environmentally friendly application that we apply on the roof to get rid of all the algae, mildew, mold, and debris from the surface of the roof and the building. So they're very different. And pressure washing has been around for a very long time. So when we clean parking lots, for example, that's when we use high pressure. When we clean concrete building and stuff like that, in those cases, we can use high pressure. If we're trying to strip away certain paints or certain things from the concrete, we use high pressure. And then the other circumstance, we use something called soft washing.
Hmm. So what would you say to somebody that wants to grab a water hose from the backyard and clean? And what do you do? Uh, what's the value and how do you establish the value and distinction?
Right. Well, I would tell them, first of all, I would tell them good luck. They would need a lot of time and dedication trying to get something. So, your typical water hose providing about 80 to 90 psi pressure coming out of there. There's no pressure at all. I mean, it would basically, you would have to be scrubbing away with something physically. You would have to cause some sort of agitation on whatever surface it is that you're trying to clean and you're trying to wash off. I mean, what we can do, like pressure washing, for example, a driveway, we can do a standard sized driveway, where you can fit about 4 cars with the sidewalks and the curb and everything in less than 40 minutes. And I'm talking
Hmm.
about completely rejuvenating the surface, and I mean it looks like night and day. I mean, you go from a dirty driveway to a completely clean driveway in a matter of 45 minutes. And most people, even the homeowners that go out, they go to Home Depot, Lowe's, and they purchase a pressure washer. They can't do it in a certain amount of time. For example, when I first started out, I was one of those guys. I mean, I started out in the industry with a small pressure washer that I also bought from the Home Depot, and it served me well for a short period of time. But you got to realize that any person that goes out there and buys one of these pressure washers, which are anywhere between $400 to $700, it'll take you about half a day to pressure wash your driveway.
Hmm.
So that's why we have dedicated equipment for this, for this type of stuff. The machines that we use and the surface cleaners and other attachments allow us to, and as well as the chemicals that we use, allow us to pretty much clean with breeze. So what it would take a person, maybe let's just say, for example, if they wanted to compare using me opposed to going and renting a machine from Home Depot that'll cost them 100, 150 bucks, it'll also take about a day of their time to pressure wash everything and have to, go and return the pressure washer after renting it and stuff like that. I mean, I probably charge less to do the job for them and have everything taken care of in 45 minutes than what would take them to do all day. So I think
Correct.
that's one of the things that's very valuable in that sense, that most people think like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try to save some money, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean it myself. So I'll go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I'll rent a pressure washer, it'll cost them 150 bucks, $200 with attachment. And really, man, we could have had gotten that taken care of for them in like 45 minutes, so they can save their time, save their money and everything.
And time is money, and dedication, and it's a huge difference between we're doing ourselves and an expert that does day to day, like 8 or 10 jobs a day. That's what they do for a living. They know what they're doing, and I'm a believer of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, other than, having the proper equipment and everything like that, I mean, you can imagine after, 1,600 driveways that we cleaned the last 6 years that, I mean,
Wow.
we've got it down to the T. I mean, we know exactly what we need to do when we go through the process. My team, I actually have 3 other guys that work with me. And I mean, my team, they've been doing this for, one of the guys been with me for the last 4 years. He's still with me. And I got a couple of newer guys, but I mean, they're catching on. And the more they do it, the more experienced they become. And I mean, the faster and the better, the job gets done every single time. So, it's not all about, also about having the right equipment. Right, having the right equipment is absolutely a plus, but knowing how to do a job is very important as well, and that comes with experience.
Why A&M is different than other pressure washing company?
Well, I think experience and expertise is one of the biggest things. We know how to take certain safety measures as well when we pressure wash. I've noticed a lot of people that are kind of new in the industry. For example, we have a lot of new up and coming people. We have these kids who also, they want to make some extra money during, when they're off from school or whatever, and they'll go on their pressure wash their neighbor's driveway and so on and so forth. But we heard a lot of stories about, you know, um, where accidentally when they're power washing or whatever, they might, a rock might fly off or something like that. They might be blasting at the concrete in the wrong way and they might damage a car or a window or something like that. So I think taking the proper safety measures is one of the things that we do that we're really good at.
Hmm.
Another thing is too, if I had to say if there were like three things or three reasons why somebody should hire us compared to somebody else, I would say one of the things is exceptional results. We always try to deliver the results and exceed the customer's expectation. We're very professional and reliable. So if we tell you, hey, we're going to be there at 3 o'clock, we try our best to be there at 3 o'clock, and we try to make sure that we do everything efficiently. We get the job done with minimal disruption, and we follow the schedule. And then we have a really high commitment and customer satisfaction. So our customer satisfaction is pretty much paramount to our company, and we go above and beyond to ensure that every client is delighted with the service provided, whether it's addressing specific needs, accommodating special requests, or providing ongoing support, maintenance and advice. Our commitment is definitely there for all of our clients.
Do you recommend real estate agents when they take on a listing, you know, they take pictures and do all that stuff and staging and uh, cleaning the curbside, make the house look nice, clean, pretty, likable, attractable for to sell. So do you recommend real estate agents to also do the pressure washing to make the house attractable?
I highly, highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I would say that I get a good portion of people that reach out to me, whether they're selling their homes or whether they are a realtor, or or they're selling the house themselves or something like that, or they have gotten, in touch with their realtor, and they're getting ready to put the house on the market, and they will call me and tell me, "Hey, Amar, we're getting ready to sell our house. We want to go ahead and we want to pressure wash the house. We want to clean the driveway." And then I would actually always go into it with them, and I would ask them like, "Hey, when can I come out and take a look at the property?" When I go to take a look at the property, I might see, like, for example, I might know that the gutters are real dirty, or the windows are real dirty. And then they'll tell me like, "Oh, let me go ahead and talk to my realtor and see if that would be a good idea to include that as well." So that kind of lets me know that, most of these people that reach out to me that are getting ready to put their house on the market are in talks with their realtor about stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
important to have that done, before putting it on the market. And to tell you the truth, man, a lot of the times when people tell me when they're in a rush to have me come out, it's usually because they have pictures they're about to be taken within either that day, or Carly, can you be here? Can you be here by 4 p.m. tomorrow? And I'm like, why 4 p.m.? Can we do it like 6? And they're like, well, I'm just taking it. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Then that's an emergency. We gotta make it happen for you. So yeah. But no, I definitely would say 100% that I get quite a bit of people that reach out to me that are getting ready to put their house on the market, and they want us to go ahead and refresh, rejuvenate it, rejuvenate their home, make their home look more appealing. And I'll tell you what, another one of the things, like I used to work with a lady that used to flip homes, and she does it a lot. She works with a lot of high end homes, and one of her secrets is she always says, "Amar, when you go clean the windows, take all the screens off and keep them off, because when they take the window screens off and they take pictures with the clean windows, I mean, they sparkle, right? It's like they just pop." So it's one of the things that I always recommend to all my customers too, because I found out that it actually works. So yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Now, for the average homeowners that are listening to you or going to listen to you, what do you recommend them that how often they should do pressure washing?
Mhm. House washing, driveway cleaning, if they have a back patio, I'd say once a year. When it comes to gutter cleaning, twice a year. And when it comes to window cleaning, it should be done quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
It should
Mm-hmm.
be quarterly. And we
And
all,
and what are the benefits of doing that?
well, for one, so here's the thing. Whenever you have organic matter that grows on the side of your home, like whether it be algae or mildew, so it starts off with algae. First, you see a little bit of green. And then you check back in a month later, and then you saw that, like, you see that green turn brown, and then it turns black. And at that point, what you got mildew, you've got mold growing on the side of your building, and this is organic matter that actually eats up off of whatever it's on. So if it's the siding, or whether it's wood, whether it's a shingle, it will start deteriorating your home little by little. Because
Hmm.
lives. It's an organism that lives on there and it damages the building. So there's been times where I've had, I've looked at some homes when when I go and clean them and service them and whatnot. And I mean, they're black. I mean, the siding is black. And at some cases, I'm always wondering, like, can I even would it even be fair to say that I 100% will be able to clean this completely because they look so bad? And I mean, we've done a great job in the past of being able to clean and rejuvenate it. But what I've noticed that is even after the cleaning, you'll see where the paint has deteriorated on the building. So now they
Hmm.
get the entire side of the house repainted or the house repainted. It causes the paint to oxidize over time as well. So I say, look, if you don't want to worry about painting your house every 5 to 10 years or something like that, you should at least consider cleaning it. Just do a rejuvenation. Let us come out there. Let us disinfect the home. It keeps your home clean. It keeps the curb appeal looking good. Less maintenance over time, and it's a lot cheaper for you to hire us and do it regularly than call me after 10 years when your house is black and now what I charge to clean that is going to be a deal with. So I'll be out there for 5 hours opposed to two. So
Yeah, I mean, like we all clean ourselves on a daily basis, wash and take a bath. We eat food and we just don't wipe the plates, put them back on the shelf. We actually wash, do the dishwashing.
right.
Same for the cars and and goes on the hair and everything.
Yeah.
So why not the best investment, our house that we live in?
Absolutely. And
Uh,
one of the
uh,
biggest investments we have, that we make.
yeah, a lot of people think that hey, the rain will do the everything.
I wish it's that simple. But it's crazy because we human beings, we live a very, very, at least here in the United States, we live a very, very busy life, a day-to-day life. We wake up, we go to work, we come back. Most of our days pretty much gone. We try to utilize our time the best way we can, spend some time with the family or whatever. We don't ever rarely pull up to our driveway and then walk around our house to see how our house is looking today. I mean, people just don't think about things like that, right? When do they think about it? They think about it when somebody either sends them a letter or warning, or they just happen to be out there in the yard. They look up like algae. So I really always encourage people to take a look at their home because the exterior of the home is just as important as the interior of the home. And if you take, good clean, if make sure your home is um, cleansed on the interior, you should also consider the exterior as well. It's just as important. And a roof,
Correct.
we talked about the other day when we were talking about roofs and stuff like that. And the roof is probably one of the most expensive parts of the entire house, probably the most expensive part of the house.
Yeah.
Replacing that roof, 15 years, and every 10 to 15 years instead of replacing it 20 to 30 years is a big difference. I mean, that's a lot of money you can save. And one of the ways you can save is by having somebody come and service your roof or having us service your roof. One of the ways that we do that, like I said, is we remove all the algae and the mildew and organic matter that grows on the roof. And that's something that's recommended every 5 years. Every
For the
5 years,
roofs, okay.
yes, sir.
That's a good tip, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that without doubt, I know it's the most expensive part to replace. And if you want to prolong the life of and longevity of the roof, and you want to have it done safely, we definitely have the method for that.
Now we know that the energy is growing in America everywhere, and you know that I'm also in a solar industry. And so has anyone asked you to clean their solar panels, or do you also do that as well?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So the solar panels cleaning is a little bit different. So when we clean windows and glass and stuff like that, we use something called the ROI water fed pole systems. And
Okay.
ROI is water that's filtered finally through a system, and then it's sent out through it's literally like a pole that has a brush on it with bristles. And what we do is we use very clean water when we clean these. We don't use any kind of detergents. We don't use any kind of chemicals when it comes to this. We just use water, but we use purified water. And that's what we scrub each and individual pane and we rinse it off real good. And that's how we can remove all the organic matter off of it too. And trust me, organic matter grows on those as well. I mean, I've had some really, really green solar panels before where we had to clean. So
Mhm.
yeah, That's definitely a specialized method as well that we take when we clean those.
Good, and it does help the solar panel system as well by taking care of cleaning is the best thing. If we keep things clean, we cannot go wrong with it, period.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how we look at it, if we clean ourselves, we prolong our life, I would assume.
Our health, yeah.
Right? So you clean your home, you're gonna prolong the life of your home, your car, everything. If you don't ever wash your car in 10 years, the paint is going to fade off your car. So it's like, if you take good care of it, you do the right things, you put wax on it every once in a while, it'll last you a long time. So
Yeah. So the process you use, it also has some kind of a chemical or something that also has a layer of protection, right?
for the solar screens, no. For
No,
solar,
for the house,
for the house,
for generally speaking.
yes. So if somebody was to, like I said, if somebody was to go and power wash the siding on a home, there's three things that are going on. One, you're using very high pressure that can damage the paint. It can damage, two, it can actually damage the siding itself. And three, you're not getting rid of the organic matter that's on the building. You're masking it. So you're making it look like it's clean, but within 2 to 3 months that you didn't zap the pores that are on the building. If you didn't take care of that, well, you're just gonna have organic matter that's gonna come back twice as fast. So when we use an algicide that we apply on the building, we actually kill the algae, the mildew, any kind of organic growth. I mean, we completely remove it. And I mean, you're looking at expanding anywhere between 6 months to a year longer, more time before it starts to pick up back again. I mean, there's no way to actually wash a home. There's no additive that you can add to keep organic matter from ever coming back.
Hmm.
The way that we do it, we definitely add about anywhere between 6 to 8 months of keeping it away longer, at least 6 to 8 months longer than if we were to just use traditional method with just like pressure washing, which is also not a very good idea because, like I said, you can damage the siding, you can damage the integrity of the material.
So does A&M pressure washing has a secret ingredient?
Well, we'll talk about that after we put a label on it, but for now, no, I
It,
wouldn't
it
I wouldn't say there's any secrets, to be honest with you. I actually like to be very transparent with everything that I do, especially with my clients. I like to tell them. So, there's people that I've done work for before. There was a gentleman who's actually a scientist, and he's a chemical engineer. And when I was giving him the quote, I'll tell you what, man, I had to break down every single detail of
oh
every.
yeah, they give you 500 questions. The
Oh yeah.
scientists, yeah.
I explained to him how we use sodium hypochlorite, how we use this and that, and how. So he wanted to know everything. What are you going to use on my windows? What are you going to use on my? And to be honest, I was excited to be able to explain everything to him because a lot of people can't really do that. A lot of people they don't really know what the proper measurements are to take. And I mean, to be honest with you, if I had if I was outside right now and I had the equipment with me, I would actually break it down even more into detail. But
Correct.
we use proportioning systems and stuff like that. We have to dilute certain chemicals to a certain percentages and stuff like that when we're applying them on the building. We don't just go throwing, acids on a building. It has to be done right. And then certain things you can't mix with other things because they can be devastating and stuff like that, both for the health and hazard environment. So you have to know how to do it properly. We rinse off everything thoroughly to make sure that we don't damage anything around. There's been cases where other companies have ruined plants, they've ruined landscaping and stuff like that using certain chemicals that are very harmful to the environment. That we are completely against, and we take all the precautionary measures that we have to, whether it's watering the plants down prior and after the job is complete, covering certain areas, covering certain plants, and stuff like that. So that way they won't get damaged in the process of doing so. But I've seen people burn grass. I've seen people burn, plants and so on and so forth. So I think knowing the craft of how to use proper mixes of chemicals is very, very important, at least in my industry. And that's something that's very much overlooked that no homeowner ever thinks about or even considers. All they know is a pressure washer. So we do things that are completely different from that.
Now, does one have to have a license or something like that to get it going, or is some?
Not in the state of Texas. Now the one thing you do have to have is that if you're working in Houston areas, you have to have certain water recovery systems when you're cleaning commercial. So
Hmm.
if it's residential, they're not real picky on it, but when it comes to commercial, you have to have waste recovery. So basically, we have these large pumps where we divert the water, the water that comes down off the building with if it has any chemicals. We use certain powders and stuff like that that we treat those chemicals with to basically take the acidity out of them, and then we trap them, and we have to take all this wastewater, and we have to go to a wastewater management place to dump all the stuff and all that kind of stuff. So there are certain things that you got to be aware of, and there's no real certification, but there's definitely rules and regulations you have to
Of
follow.
course, because you're dealing with the environment and people's most expensive investment property. I'm pretty sure there's some accountability, things like that. Now, what's the craziest thing you ever saw in your career doing your business? Give me a, what's the craziest thing? Give me the craziest one. Let's go.
Seen a lot of crazy things, man. But I think the craziest thing that I seen a guy actually. So I was doing window cleaning. I was in the Heights area, and they have some 3-story buildings there, and there was a man
Correct.
40-foot ladder. He was pressure washing the very top of the building, and I was just praying for him that he wouldn't fall. So I was like, oh my God, this guy, I mean, you have a lot of back pressure behind that pressure while he's up here, like with the wand, and I'm just looking up there and I'm just praying that nothing happened to him. But that was one of the craziest things. I don't know how he managed to get so bold to get up on a 40-foot ladder, go all the way up to the top, and try to
Wow.
come up. And when I see something like that, it's like, what do you do from there? Do I stop and say something? Do I where I have, to be honest with you, if I see somebody doing something wrong, I would like to stop them and educate them. Now, whether they care to learn or not is a whole different thing. But if
Yeah.
you're doing something like that, I would definitely like to, have a conversation with them and really honestly show them that there's a better way. There's a better way. I believe in networking, man. This is the thing about me is that I believe in networking. A lot of people, there's people in my industry, just like every other, that just look at everybody as competition. I don't look at people as competition. I've helped numerous people, and I've helped a couple people actually that got into the pressure washing business. I've spent hours going and helping them fix their equipment or set up their new trailers and stuff like that, give them explanation of what they should be using and so on and so forth. Because I believe that networking is very important. Some of these guys, we keep in touch even to this day. I mean, we communicate. As a matter of fact, one of my business partners on a different venture that I have, he owns a pressure washing company as well, and he's been doing it just as long as I have. But every time he lands maybe a big job or a big project where him and his team can't handle it, he calls me and I go out there and help him. So we work together on a lot of projects. So I believe that if I help somebody else, with whatever they have going on, whether they're just starting out or they've been in business for a very long time, networking is very important. So if I see somebody on the 40-foot ladder up there, I like to have a talk with them. But I definitely thought that was really crazy.
Yeah, that 40 that ladder, he was gonna have to come down to talk to you. Hope.
I was wondering, like,
And
man,
then get back up there again. Oh my gosh.
I was almost wondering, like, man, I wonder what he's getting paid to do that. Like, if you're
Yeah,
on a 40-foot ladder with a pressure washing wand, you better bet, man, that's gonna be one of the biggest paydays I've ever had because otherwise I'm not doing it.
correct, correct. Yeah, I agree with you. Networking, or I call it giving value, right? Like this particular very same thing that we're doing right now is mostly geared towards real estate professionals, realtors, right? And some of the realtors think I'm crazy. I mean, what am I getting out of promoting contents and value to other realtors? But I don't look at that way. I look at just giving value out there to people, and whether, just getting the message out there and is content. So you mentioned the word striping, right? Parking lot and striping. Can you tell us a little bit about that and elaborate what is striping and what it involves and why and how often?
So you see it just about everywhere.
Okay.
Probably don't think about it much, but you see it just about everywhere. Whether you go to your local hardware store, whether you go to Walmart, whether you go to mosque, church, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be somewhere where you have to park when you go to a commercial building, right?
Absolutely.
There's always going to be parking spaces. There's always going to be ramps. There's going to be fire lane hazard signs and stuff like that on the ground. So that's what we do. We paint stripe parking lots. We stripe the parking spots. We stripe the fire lanes and so on and so forth. So just about it's as simple as that. So paint striping is basically us painting the concrete, um, within the parameters.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we see in this, like you mentioned, Walmart or HEB, Kroger's, at night you see a truck picking up the trash,
Yeah.
and then you have a truck, another one has a big water thing in the back. Okay, and then he's washing it, right?
Yeah, so the process is as this goes, it goes very well with what we do already with pressure washing. So just like everything else, you have to prep the surface before going to the next step. And if we're going out there to paint stripe a parking lot, obviously the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pressure wash certain parts of the concrete where we're going to be painting. So if that particular parking lot already has pre-existing lines there, what we do is we pressure wash those areas to remove all the dirt and debris so that way our paint is going to adhere properly. So once we do the preparation process, then we go about painting and yeah, we stay within the lines. We have the proper equipment and everything like that for that type of work. So as far as like how often it needs to be done, honestly, when we paint a parking lot, we usually don't hear back till about 2 years later. So every about 2 to 3 years is the typical time range in which we go back and we restripe. Um, the paints that we use, they're very tough. They're very heavy duty, and when we apply them, they tend to stay there for a long time. The In some cases, I mean, we have very high humidity and heat here in Houston, Texas, and I think in some other places, some other states or something like that, it might last a little bit longer, but down here, I'd say every 2 to 3 years, we go
Hmm.
back.
And A&M is you carry your insurance and everything, business insurance, of course. Okay. So, what is the most beautiful place Amar has visited anywhere in the United States or in the around the world?
Okay, well, I would like to say my country because that's where I'm from.
Yeah,
Everybody,
Bosnia is beautiful, very mountainous, there's a lot of beautiful mountains and stuff like that. It is beautiful.
yes, sir. So we're very close to Croatia as well, and Croatia has some beautiful islands and
It
beaches.
is, yeah, nice water and beautiful.
But me being from a Balkan region, I've always been. I'm a type of person. If you ask me, do you prefer winter or summer? Honestly, I prefer winter. And if you ask me, would I rather be in the beach or in the mountains? I'd rather be in the mountains. So one of the places that I think that I really found exceptionally nice here in the United States, at least from what I've explored, is I like to go to Colorado.
Colorado.
I like to go hiking. I'm a very outdoor type of person, so Colorado is definitely a place for me. I've been to California as well. So anywhere up north, I've been Denver, I've been Colorado. Denver's nice too, but I think Colorado is one of my favorite places in the United States.
Yeah, I knew that Colorado was coming. So what Amar does in free time?
To be honest, man, I wish I could say I have a lot of free time, but I don't. But I like to spend a lot of time with my family. I think I try to dedicate as much of my free time to my family as I can. Um,
Correct.
Wife, I have a daughter, and I think that they capture most of that time. So if I'm not, you know, pressure washing, or if I'm not, into, and I think I told you this before, but we have an off seat. So during the winter time, things kind of slow down a little bit for us. Of course, our commercial recurring accounts are still going, but a lot of residential kind of dies down because the wintertime, people don't
Yeah.
hire for these type of services that much. So we're really, really big on holiday lighting, and that's one of the things that keep us very, very busy. So basically, anywhere between middle of September up until mid-January, I mean, we're very swamped with the holidays, and we have the holiday lighting going on.
What is
So
about the holiday lighting? Can you tell us?
yeah, so holiday lighting is well, I'm sure you guys already know what holiday lighting is, but
Yeah. But what A&M does for holiday lighting in that
I
season?
mean, so we have we so here's the thing. We provide all the material for all of our clients and stuff like that. So if somebody wants to have some lights, we provide all the material. We install the lights. We use only commercial grade material. So we use C9 LED bulbs that go on the house. We can do everything from doing the roof ridges, doing the roof hips, installing lights on the front fascia of the house, all the way around if you want to. I mean, our decorations go on and beyond. I mean, we can just about decorate just about anything: trees, bushes, absolutely anything, yard. We're all inclusive. So we provide all the material, we warranty all the material, we install, we take down, and we store everything for our clients for the following season.
Wow, full service.
Service,
So
absolutely.
have you done one of those houses in River Oaks neighborhood?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people go lighting. I take my family too to go to drive around and stuff like that. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful homes.
We have a couple, we have two or three homes there. One of them is a very big one.
Uh-huh.
And he used to work for Chevron. His last name was Gaya. He's Lebanese. His last name is Gaya. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big guy up there in the industry. You know, he was like a vice president, and he hired us a couple seasons ago, and we've been recurring with him. But his house is, I mean, it's ginormous, and it's right there on River Oaks Boulevard. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for him, of course, we do a lot of tree wrapping. We put the wreaths, the garlands, and so on. He doesn't like anybody to touch his house, so we don't put any lights on his house.
Oh, okay. Also, I was all outside, yeah, in the yard and stuff like this.
He has a slate roof, which is very tough to walk on, and he doesn't like the liability. And I tell him, man, all my guys are roofers, but he doesn't like the liability, so he doesn't let me up. He doesn't let me upgrade him. Maybe next
Right.
grade him. I don't know.
Yeah. So
We have
you mentioned that you do a little bit roofing too, right?
correct, correct.
What do
So
you do in the roofing? Tell me.
yeah, so I started out with pressure washing back in 2017, and then, like I said, during the holiday times is when everything slows down for me. So I picked up doing holiday lighting, and I've been doing that for the last 5 seasons. So my good friend David, he also owns a pressure washing company. Does the one I was talking about earlier. He also has he's been in business for 8 years. He and I teamed up together and decided to create a roofing business, roofing company. It's called Black Swan Roofing and Construction, and
Hmm.
started out a couple years ago. And the main reason that we kind of got with that idea is that a lot of the guys that we have that install the Christmas lights for us and holiday lighting and stuff like that, these same guys are all roofers, and we figure, why not? Because we have a team of guys that really know what they're doing. They're professional at what they do. They do this every day. Why not get into roofing? So then we started educating ourselves into roofing more and more, and then we finally ended up, forming a company, and we've been doing that for the last couple of years.
Okay, great. So you do everything about the roofing, right? New
So
roof, old roof, repair or build or whatever.
placement, we work with insurance companies, everything. Yes, sir.
Good, fantastic. So I'm gonna put your contact description on in the YouTube video at the but you how just let us know that how people should contact you or your company. What is the best way to contact? If you have any social media, go ahead, give it a shout out.
Yeah, so if you guys can follow me. I like to be on Facebook a lot. That's the number one way that you can find me is facebook.com/clean pressure one. That's one of the links. And if you guys want to really contact me directly, it would be through my phone number or through my email. My email is ampw@pressurecleancypress.com. That would be the best way to reach out to me. And then, yeah, and I can always answer and get right back to you as soon as possible.
Fantastic. And I'm gonna be putting your contacts on the description, the video description. So what how do you see A&M or your company 5 or 10 years from now?
So as of right now, I have basically I have two rigs going on right now. I got two trucks. I think between 5 years from now, I want to have three teams, and 10 years from now, I want to have about five teams of people. And I want to dedicate three teams to my residential and two teams to my commercial side of things. I definitely want to expand my business in the commercial industry more and more. I feel like that's the one that's you know it seems to become more it seems to be more competitive, but it's also more lucrative for me. So I'm definitely going to be pushing more and more towards the commercial side of things, and of course maintaining all the residential clients that I already have. Yes, sir.
Hmm. Do you get to have any time to watch any TV or TV show? If any, what's your favorite TV show?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I have like four TVs in my house, and that'll be the most relatable thing with me is the television.
Right.
I never even turn it on. It's there, but you know what I like to go. I mean, I like to go watch a movie or two here and there. But I mean, I really, I'm not that huge on TV, man. I'm so busy all the time, and I'm just trying to, uh, build
What's
up.
your go-to movie, the one you really liked before?
Oh, man, that's tough. Man, I like a lot of the old school movies, man. I used to watch. Heck, man, I don't know if anybody else ever out there ever watched Scarface, but I like Scarface.
Yeah, sure. Scarface.
Maybe not the best movie to put out there, but it's definitely
Hey, it's a movie. It's entertainment and nothing, man. I'm gonna back you up, no problem.
The Godfather, these type of movies and stuff like that. I don't know why, but I always found them pretty interesting. So
Yeah. So if Nasser wants to take out Amar to for a business lunch, we would like to know what kind of food Amar likes to eat.
Fleming, brother, I'm a big steak guy. I'll tell you that much. I love.
Hey, guys are staying. All right, yeah.
Don't worry, don't worry. It can be on me. No worries. If you want to take me out, I'll be more than happy.
And what's your go-to steak place?
I love Fleming's and I love Brazilian steakhouses as well.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely a steak guy.
Big steak guy, man. I don't know, maybe it's just the way I grew up in my family. My mother cooks, she cooks all the time, traditional food and stuff like that. And when I'm away for too long, maybe if I don't see her for a week or so, man, I miss it so much. So I just got used to the home cooking a lot, and being Bosnian, meat is like in every dish that we make almost.
Right? Yeah, I love Bosnian cuisine, man. It's
We like lamb, we like
the
you know
kebabs and yeah.
we're rotisserie, so we're big on that. And I think one of those things I've always carried with me, man. I love steakhouse.
Yes. So, Amar, last few minutes, it's been a really great pleasure, and you have been you team play with me this interview very well. I asked you different questions, and you were very forthcoming, very good content. I appreciate it. So, you are a father, I'm a father as well. And what advice would you like to give to the younger generation about life in general?
In life in general, I would say,
To the younger generation.
yeah, I would say to explore your options, explore different things. Don't be afraid to fail. And in the midst of doing that, is stay humble. Stay humble.
Hmm.
Try different things. Don't be afraid to fail, but always stay humble, because no matter how much you have, or being humble is very important. No matter how much you have, you should always be happy with what you have, no matter what. And you should always stay humble, and you should always try different things. And if you fail, get back up and try it again, because I mean, failures is something that we all have to face. And the ones that become winners are the ones that stick to it and never give up. So explore your options, and don't be afraid to fail and stay humble. That's the main thing. I think that those are the things that I would tell myself. When I was younger, I wish I would have explored more things. I would have done more things, because back then, when I used to be employed and stuff like that, I was a little bit afraid. Even though I know I had it somewhere in me, I knew that I was destined to do different things and better things than where I was at, but I was just afraid to take that step back then. And now that I'm a little bit older, I realize like there's really nothing to be afraid of. And had I took those steps earlier, who knows where I've been right now, you know? So I think just people shouldn't be afraid to be themselves, to explore, to try different things, but always be humble. Always be humble.
What a beautiful advice, man. Very nice advice. And I've been there myself, and you have a very great story, in life in general, that you used to work, and then you work hard, you're still working hard, established a couple of businesses, family, community, what a great story you give to give a great advice. And I really thank you, Amar. It's been a really pleasure to have you over here. I learned a lot from you, and I'm very sure that the audience will get a lot of value from this. And thank you so much. We'll love to have you sometime in the future again.
Absolutely, man. And thank you so much for having me, sir. I really appreciate it. Um, not many times do people open up the doors or try to help somebody out and put them out there. And I've known you for a very short period of time, and you're already showing me signs of somebody who's a giving person who's willing to help others, man. And like when people do that to me, I like to always return that favor. So I really appreciate.
Oh, absolutely. One time, you may or may have not heard that before, but one time the someone asked, well, Albert Einstein, because what's the purpose of being here? You know, Someone asked this question to Albert Einstein. What is your purpose to be here in this world? So Albert Einstein say, to service people.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah,
And
that's.
one of my authors that I study a lot in the past and still do, call Earl Nightingale.
Mhm.
Earl Nightingale. He is the Dean of Personal Development in America. Nightingale, he started a foundation and a long time ago, and he was inducted in the International Hall of Fame of Radio. And he's actually was around way before my times, Earl Nightingale, a lot of content available from him on YouTube. And he says that the rewards or money or the benefits, whatever a person is looking for, is equals to the amount of service we give to people. So the more service we give to the people, that's the reward we're going to get. The reward can be in a form of different way, tangible, intangible. But a lot of time people think tangible because money. Of course, we gotta pay the bills, electricity, internet, TV, cell phone, gas, food. We gotta pay that. Those are tangible things. But it's all about the service value. The more service we give to humans and in best way possible. And I want to thank you for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.